Now, Sifuna will not be a presidential candidate in 2027.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the north, east, west, and south of where you're watching from, welcome. And it's such another beautiful, amazing time that, of course, we are seated down just to hang around together. But apart from that, remember, this is the only podcast in East and Central Africa whereby you just don't watch for the sake. You watch with a pen and paper. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Lessons at 30 with the eagle himself, the Duke of Kakamega. Dr. Ofweneke is my name. And of course, the guest on the show tonight. You see, it's such an amazing, these are the things we used to pray for. That you can just do one phone call and get somebody at the top. And I want to ask you, men, how many phone calls can you make that can actually make your world move? They can actually solve problems in your life. He is one of the most vibrant, youthful members of parliament and legislators that we have in the country, ladies and gentlemen. And if we are not careful, this could actually be the next president of the Republic of Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, he's on the show. He's looking amazing. He's looking fit. And of course, I've just told him he needs to slow down a little bit on the gym because guess what? We might just be having our own Kenyan version of Johnny Bravo. But before that, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching the show and you need to be in the United States of America and you're a skilled Kenyan, I don't know why you have not made a phone call to ISP. You're a father, you're a mother, your child is skilled, and probably they cannot be able to get enough job opportunities within the country. Please just call on ISP or visit Mirage Plaza, third floor. Of course, they're going to get help. ISP, the contacts are right there on the screen. Make sure you do that. Ladies and gentlemen, I was planning to wear a suit. I'm actually in a full suit. But if you see me with my Obama look, kind of, it's because when I saw him walk into the room, of course, I was like, oh my goodness, I think I've overdressed. I look like I'm the one who's literally in the parliament, and it's just nothing but a voter. So I had to just get off my coat, loosen up a little bit, because this is about to be one of the most mind-blowing interviews ever. You've seen him on National Prayer Days on the keyboard playing. At least we know him as a musician. We've seen him dance. At least we know him as a dancer. And if you see him, we've seen him as one of the most humorous but very witty politicians that this country has ever produced. Gusiland, are you ready? Kenya, are you ready? Africa, are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time on Lessons at 30, our guest lecturer, get your pen and paper ready for lessons of life. Allow me to introduce my brother, my good friend, and the one and only, Mheshimiwa Honorable, the one and only, Silvanus Osoro, live on the show.
Thank you very much.
Umesikiaje?
Hey, boss. Your intro, man, it's too big. It's too big for a small person like me. I'm too small.
You think so? Umejiona kwa kioo?
I am very small. I keep trying. We keep trying.
You keep trying?
Yeah.
My goodness. I talked about the governor of Kisii, and you were very quick at correcting me, and I must apologize on that. You said, why not the president of the Republic of Kenya?
Exactly. Aim high. I mean, why would we aim for a small seat when we have an opportunity to rise even to higher offices?
How hard or how tough is it, or how easy it is, whichever side, to become the president of Kenya?
It is very hard. It is extremely hard. I have worked with President William Ruto closely, even as he was deputy president, way before he became deputy president, and then now deputy president, and then president. Trust me, that thing is difficult. It needs mental preparedness, physical fitness, financial muscles, heavy pockets, and above all, sweet mouth and proper networks.
You can't just win the seat, Moshe.
you
You can't
can't.
just win the seat with popularity.
Seats are not won through euphorias. There is a lot more in politics. And I invite people to actually learn through even best politicians. You've mentioned Obama.
Yes.
When you get an opportunity, please read through a book. Go through a book called Becoming Obama. Go through a book by Obasanjo, when his autobiography. Go through a book by Museveni, Paul Kagame, Raila Odinga, the enigma of Kenyan politics.
Yes.
We haven't had the autobiographies done by former Kenyan presidents.
I don't think, I've not seen.
But people have written about Jomo Kenyatta.
Yes.
So you go through such books. Go through Mwalimu Julius Nyerere. Yes. You'll understand that it is beyond what we see in rallies. It is beyond, the usual euphoria and spirits that move around or hover around. There is a lot of investments. It's capital intensive, structural intensive. There's a common story you hear about politics. These guys paid these people to attend these rallies.
There's always that.
Yes,
and then there's a little bit of AI here and there.
These other ones are natural. But this one, people paid.
Yes.
Trust me. If you hear people raise the issues about paying, if somebody is able to craft a structure of paying people to attend the rallies, then that person is well networked down to the grassroots. Because you need mobilizers. So if I'm able to create a structure to mobilize people to attend my rally, what then stops me from paying, using the same structure, to have people wake up on the election day and go and vote? Because people don't just wake up.
So, Mheshimiwa, you're saying that it's not a realistic political strategy in terms of crowd mobilization to actually pay?
It's real. I mean, sometimes rallies, you've had this common story of go and mobilize. What is mobilization?
What is mobilization?
Mobilization is using money to pull people. There is no... You see, look at all the politicians that have run through natural crowds. I mean, look at home. Raila Odinga, you've been saying, he's loved naturally. Then where are the votes? Why do people fail to wake up in Nyanza to go and vote? Because they assume, huyu anakuanga na watu wengi bwana. So you don't wake up in the morning because you tell yourself somebody else is going, tulikuwa wengi sana tutonoka bwana.
So even if I don't
hata nisipopiga, so and so atavote. There is no structure. And that is really what happens back at home in Nyanza, in my place. Nyanza is Kisii and Luo.
Luo
exactly.
Nyanza.
There is Luo Nyanza, there is Kisii Nyanza. And both of those areas suffer from such. I mean, turnout in terms of voting is almost zero. It's like 30%, 40%, because there are no structures. You would rely on euphorias and love, natural love. There's nothing called natural love.
Are you trying to say that
people must wake people up to go and vote? And those people wake people up to go and vote. That is what we call mobilization.
Okay.
It is a structure you create from grassroots. That is why proper structures go down to the polling stations. You have somebody, their contacts. I'll shock you. Sometimes I talk to President Ruto and updating him on what is happening in terms of even infrastructure in my area and everything. Then he comes out and then goes, picks his phone and makes a call to Amze from my village. Just an ordinary old man who is perhaps...
You would think it's this...
exactly, and confirms and everything. But naambiwa namna hii. Is it true? You would ordinarily expect that he will call perhaps we don't have PCs nowadays, county commissioner.
Maybe an intel.
Yes, or something like that. But he just calls some old Mzee from the village and gets information. So you've got to learn how to build structures, strengthen those structures, because voting day is the most important day of a politician.
10th August.
That very day. It is the most important day. Away from the euphoria and the excitement you see in the rallies, reality is who will wake up in the morning to go and vote. If it's your strongholds, make sure your structures are well, they're synergized. Guys are making calls. People are being woken up. You have the numbers by 7 a.m. All the rest are now the guesswork. 8, you're done. Did you see Olkalau? You saw the numbers, people queuing.
Yes.
Votes are usually counted by 8 a.m.
By 8, there's always a projection of a winner.
A projection of a winner is done 8 a.m. Every election, whether it's president or down to the MCA.
So what happened in Olkalau?
It happened as it were. It was meant to happen that way. Olkalau voters decided to have their MP. And, the voting patterns of this country also are very, as I said, besides having the structures, there are other things that also contribute towards the winning or the loss of a candidate.
Of a candidate, yeah.
And different regions vote differently. Kenyans naturally, just like so many other regions, are wired differently. In Central Kenya, for example, Central Kenya are emotional voters. They vote out. They don't vote in.
Hey, never looked at it like that, sir.
Yes, they vote out. They don't vote in. And immediately they vote out. Sometimes they actually vote in a person by voting out without knowing that person. And then eventually they start complaining. Hey, we voted this person. I wish we did this and this and this. I wish it shouldn't have gone this way. So Central Kenya is one place that emotions run across, and they are controlled by media platforms like this one, radio stations, TV stations. A simple lie can really move around Mount Kenya very, very fast, and they enjoy listening to that.
The most I would ask from a layman's, just from a backbencher perspective. I will pretend to be a backbencher on this so that I can ask this question on behalf of many. If the government, with all its machineries, and of course the government backed by UDA as the ruling party, I'm pretty sure that UDA as a ruling party is privy to on-ground information, just like you said.
We knew.
So you knew.
We knew, yeah.
UDA knew. Then why the too much expenditure in terms of...
No.
Why the mattresses?
We did the obvious. There is nothing that is new that we did there. You see, everything is done on budget. Whatever that was budgeted, in as much as some of which were fast-tracked, they were within budget. And they'll still continue being implemented in Olkalau. It really wasn't tied towards the by-election as such. It's normal also, of course, for members of the cabinet and the PSS who come from the region to also try and say, hey, we are also here. And this is what we had planned for you. But because you have an election, we can have fast-track what we wanted to implement in September or October or going on, exactly. But there's, like, say, for example, the stadium that is being built in Olkalau, it's not going to stop. It is something that was on budget. It's 1 billion shillings.
So it will continue.
It will continue. The roads that were launched, they'll continue because the contractor has a contract. He has
irrespective of the election, by election.
Those are Kenyans. They deserve development. It's only that our politics is is a bit different in terms of people look at our politics. Sad to say, but our politics is a bit tribal. So. People tend to, and that is why I told people there is nothing called Gen Z vote. And any person imagining that you'll rely on young people who are aged between 20 and 35 to wake up and vote, because no, they end up going back to their tribal cocoons, and that is how life is. That is the reality. And I think that is the makers of our country, the first leaders of our country led us towards that route. Just like when you see in Tanzania the Muungano thing, there is no tribe there, but there is a question of religion, Muslim and Christian.
Something in Nigeria, it's more of after the Biafra war.
Exactly. So we are wired differently. Now, Olkalau ought to have happened that way. It was, by the way, much as people think the government and some of us who were in the ruling coalition were mad and sad, if you've listened keenly to Dr. Buru and all those people in the broad-based, and even the president himself, you've seen the way we've downplayed the loss. Because
I've literally seen emotions.
Because it is something we expected. But politics doesn't just happen. There's something we wanted to display, and in due time, Kenyans will know. This is about politics. There is something we simply wanted to display. And we needed some justification. You voted this way, you've given us 12%. But we needed a bit of some justification for some of our actions in future. So anything that may happen in August 10th, if you see a bit of changes, be it cabinet, be it realignment of our coalition agreement with ODM, we are justified. We'll say, hey, going by all Kalau, this is what it is. So, politics is a game of...
I see, sir. I just want to preempt.
It's a game of... Yes, it's a game that you've got to have justification. I mean, if tomorrow William Ruto wins, currently Mount Kenya has got about 7 ministries, cabinet secretaries.
Yes.
Out of the 20, 7 are from Mount Kenya.
Ouch.
So all the rest of us share 13. You've even asked about mattresses, you've asked about gas, you've asked about things that were given there, water, and all those things that are being done in that area that you hardly see in your area.
Exactly. I've never seen that.
Exactly. This is also a justification. There is always a sense of entitlement of some regions, which, my region and your region, Dr. Ofweneke, where we all come from, have not had a privilege to lead this country. And we still do not know the joy of leadership of a country or controlling the resources entirely. The Rift Valley people have had such a privilege. And despite the noise you hear from Rift Valley, they'll vote to the last man, to William Ruto. They know the benefits. Mount Kenya knows that. But now Mount Kenya overly stayed in power. So there is something called sense of entitlement. A little bit.
That we should be.
That regardless, you guys, regardless of whatever it is, we deserve this. So if you throw a mattress or you throw a 10-kilometer road to Western, Vihiga, say Majengo area, ululation all over. People will say, since independence, we've never seen this. Go to Mount Kenya, where even roads that hardly see a single vehicle pass are well tarmacked. Those people, you don't tell them about development. They are entitled. They are up there. They feel, there's nothing. It's not new. Man, I am doing 126 kilometers in my constituency for the very first time since independence in South Mugrango. And my people are over the moon. They're saying, we've never seen this member of parliament. In Mount Kenya, one constituency is doing about 300 kilometers of road. And they still don't want to hear anything to do with government. And still the contractor is there. The road will still be done. So there is something that this election was also about. Right now they have 7 ministers.
Yes.
There is a justification to have 2 or 1 in the next government when we come back. So they will not say, hey, we used to have 7. Why did you give us 1? No. There is now a justification. Let's now share. Even getting 7 was out of entitlement. That, hey, we voted for this government. And
in big numbers.
In big numbers. So they say the former deputy president banged the door at the president and said, we need every county of Mount Kenya to have a minister.
Did he bang the door literally?
The
speaking,
table.
Or
yeah, literally.
Yeah.
He
banged the table?
Yeah. He's even said he's done self-confession that at some point he felt like slapping the president. So he's done that. You can get, it's all over. It's on YouTube. But even without being told that, just looking at the man from the way he speaks, would you expect him to behave differently? Why are you appearing surprised? And even in his way of expression, you would expect that guy can do any or can go to whatever extent as far as entitlement of Mount Kenya people is concerned.
How was your relationship with him when he was there?
In Parliament. I'll start from Parliament.
Yes, sir.
I was with him in Parliament. He was my desk mate. Rigiji used to call me Kijana and I used to call him Mzee. We used to be very close. In fact, I've ridden in his car, I think, more than 20 times. I've had a meal at his place, both in his current home and Wamunyoro home, as a member of Parliament. And although he never, at no given time did he ever rise to his place to speak in Parliament, not a single one, even a maiden speech, he didn't make in Parliament. He's a proper dealer. As a legislator, he was a proper dealer. He used to tell me, hey, come, I teach you. You need to know this. You know, there's money here. You can learn. He's a dealer. He enjoys making money. Oof. And this quick money, where do we pick here, there, and everything? He's well organized as businessman. And ukikaa vibaya atapita na pesa yako. But he's that kind of a person.
Kuna deal nategea.
Yes, he's a deal nategea. Alafu, you know, na ukichapa na deal anakuosha. And he doesn't care, without blinking. Without blinking. So, that was when we were in parliament with him. Na ukicheza ukimsumbua sana, the heaven Wi-Fi will be connected. But that is the reality of the person we are dealing with. But fast forward, as deputy president.
Yes.
Initially, we thought his demeanor would change as a very egocentric and self-centered man. But over time, his relationship started, you know, with people started even becoming more
controversial and uncomfortable.
At some point, I have an experience with him that I really didn't like. You know, we are here, we've been elected. 1 month post-election, Rigiji calls me and tells me, hey, I want you to bring to me all the Kisii elected members of parliament so that I get to know them. So I called all of them, including those ones. You know, that time ODM was still ODM.
Yeah.
Baba was there. There was no handshake. There was no broad-based.
It was still healing.
Yes, and you know, they were opposition and we are government.
Yes.
So we are feeling entitled than them. But when you tell them we are going to be the deputy president, most of them are new members of parliament. Yeah. My friends, Kibagendi, Gisairo, they're all new members of parliament, first-time members of parliament. And of course, they were looking up to us to show them the way. So with the call that you need to see the deputy president, there was excitement. They said, hey, this is very good. You know, we're going to see the deputy president. I mean, maybe he has something to tell us about our regions, those kind of things. Just like we used to do in the previous parliament, we used to go and visit William Ruto. Over lunchtime. By the way, if you needed a meal as a member of parliament in the last parliament and you wanted some place to hang out.
Karen.
No. Arambe. Annex. There used to be a big boardroom and a buffet, you know, there that can serve up to 100 people at any given time. A long boardroom table. In fact, I used to walk to Harambe Annex, and you know, as member of parliament, you're not denied access.
Yeah.
And then I get to the deputy president, I say, karibu, wewe. And in fact, if you don't eat under William Ruto, he really takes offense. If you don't eat his food, he really takes offense. Karibu bana, wacha kuniona kwanza, chukua nini hapo, chukua sahani, keti hapa tukule. You have to eat. And if you had a meeting with him at 12:20 or 12:30 thereabout or 12:50, and it's getting close to 1 p.m. when he has to eat, he'll stop that meeting and say, come. And then he'll go to all the waiting lounges to pick any guest that is there to join him for lunch. Except for Wednesdays, when they do up to date, they do fasting. It's pure, dry fasting in State House and even then.
State House fast on Wednesday?
Yes. Pure, dry fasting. Wow. Except for breakfast. They have tea for breakfast, but the entire day, there is no meal.
But there's no meal that's being served at any point.
Nothing. So, we expected, that is, you know, now some of us, it's a norm for deputy presidents or something. Little did we know, man, that I took all these members of parliament, senators, and were now there around the table waiting for the deputy president. First, there is no that usual buffet that we used to see. So, even as we wait for that, it's lunchtime, there's no that usual buffet, which is fine. It is fine. No, for me, who understood about them, I didn't tell the rest. But people like Kibagendi knew. Because he used to work with the deputy
he was
president, so he knew.
Head of youth
exactly.
affairs.
All the rest didn't know, so we kept quiet. Then, hey man, guy man. Then we stay. He gives us an appointment for 1, so we think we are going to have lunch with him as we talk. So the guy shows up we stay there up until 2:30. But before he shows up, At around 2, some guys walk in with food. I think one piece of nyama choma or something. Kamekatakato hivi kameko kwa karatasi. And then you are told, please speak. You know, you're a member of parliament. Yeah. I mean, like, you can afford lunch. It's not that, you know. We looked at that and said, hey, guys, we are full. So they went back. I think it's like they picked up from some joint.
There's a place that sells in some nyamachoma opposite the gate at the
I think out on the Olienda. They went.
I know it next to the Shell petrol station. There's a place they sell nyamachoma. It's opposite.
Me, I thought actually waliendea
hiyo lazima ni hapo nje.
Mimi nilifikiria waliendea hiyo place nyingine nitonga. Ile Uhuru alikuwa anaenda anakula.
I even showed it was his idea for bringing food because it looks like a PR, a last minute save.
Alafu nakuja tu na kanini na. So we said no, we are okay. Then at 2:30 the guy walks in. The guy walks in, immediately takes his seat. He doesn't first say hi to us. He sits, you know, ordinarily you would expect you come say hi. And he had this undermining, which he still has, undermining way of introducing or describing people. He would come, sema kijana. You know, I'm a leader, but, you know, I'm a kijana, but I'm a leader.
In this forum, please.
In this forum, say, kiongozi, you know, mheshimiwa, you know, sema kijana. Even now, look at the way he say, hey, hata ule kijana, you know, he has his level of emotional intelligence. Aki ya Mungu, kuna shida.
Is Mount Kenya safe with him?
No.
As a king.
But let me even finish that. It's not. And I'll tell the Mount Kenya people to be very keen. By the way, anyway, those are my in-laws, so I'll rather tell them the truth. The guy sits there, then he straight goes to us, tells us, nyinyi wa Kisii, hata mko pigia serikali. Unajua nyinyi hamuna shares. Mimi nikikaa na Ruto namwambianga tupatie hii kwa sababu tulikupigia kura. Nyinyi wa Kisii, watu bure. Nini? He takes 5 minutes dressing us down. Hata hajajua majina ya wabunge wageni. The first person to walk out was Kibagendi.
Kibagendi?
Walked out.
The same Kibagendi who is...
When he comes to this shot, remind him that.
He's a good friend of mine.
He walked out. And I hope, in as much as they are now imagining they have a collective enemy in the name of William Ruto, he will not sugarcoat. But he walked out, literally. And so many of us, of course, people, but me, I'm still chief whip. I couldn't walk out of my leader. I'm seated there feeling embarrassed, looking down. And then the guy comes after he gives us a 10-minute lecture, pulls an envelope of 200,000 and gives us to share amongst the 17 of us who are seated there. As a leader, you know, I'm a leader. I'm the one who is given. So I also don't want to embarrass the deputy president. I pick the money. Then he tells them, nimepanga, Osoro atawapanga. So they imagine somehow it's some good money. So I go and then I tell members of parliament, deputy president decided to appreciate you for taking your time to visit him, mafuta kidogo kidogo. Nikaongeza pesa, nikawapea kila mtu 50,000.
You took your own money to save face.
We do that every time for these top leaders. So many times. There's a time the guy told me to bring MCS from Kisii to Nairobi. I brought an entire bus.
Clearly you didn't learn.
And then they get to the gate, they are blocked. I call him, he doesn't pick up. And, you know, the appointment was his. And then they come to parliament. I call him, he's not picking up. That guy, for me, it was a bit personal. That guy, man, he really went. So eventually, they go to the gate. In fact, his person calls me. They went there. They waited until 3 p.m. Then they called me. What is happening? So I had to cover and say, you know, the president has called him. Yet they know he's inside. They've even seen. The president has called him. I said, I've talked to him and he's told me, Pole, Kujeni, he's given me some 1 million. You go back. We'll arrange something else. I gave out my 1 million. That is a guy you would go to an office and if you are seated like I'm seated with you.
Yes, sir.
And a colleague walks in who speaks Kikuyu. immediately switches and assumes that you don't sit. You are not there. And he starts now talking to this person without shame. And he even tells you sit down and wait. He'll speak to that person in Kikuyu for 30 minutes as you wait. But as deputy president, what do you do?
You humble yourself. Power is in the house.
And especially those of us now who are in government, who are still in government. I'm chief whip and this is my deputy president. There's nothing I can do.
So in terms of hierarchy, you have to humble yourself. And
yes, I'm there, just there like this. And then he talks, puts you down and makes you look so silly. And then he even sometimes mentions, hawa Wakikuyu unajua wakiingia hapa mimi nawaona bwana. Hawa ndio umetuweka kwa serikali. Nyinyi wa Kisii tulijaribu Osoro wewe tulikutuma. Mkaleta tu 40%. He tells you that every time. He keeps on reminding you every time. So it was good readers for me.
There's a question that I'm holding.
If you bring Rigiji back to Parliament and tell me to impeach him, I'll impeach him again.
Okay.
And if you bring him again and again, I'll still impeach him. If he ever rises to any office and I'm somewhere there and I have an opportunity to impeach, I'll still do it. That is a monster. That guy is an animal. That is not a human being. I think that guy always has a meeting with the devil. That guy is not okay. That is not a human being.
Allow me to this.
There are so many deep things that if I start talking about them, people do not know Rigiji. And the day they'll know him, and especially Mount Kenya, the day they'll know that guy, it will be too late for them. Rigiji is about me, myself, and I. Everybody else does not matter.
If it doesn't benefit me.
You see the way sometimes we maneuver around and you strike some deals in business somehow. As deputy president, I approached him over something that I would do, that I had a person who could do. Being my deputy party leader, I approached him. We started arranging and planning. Next time, I found the thing already done. So I approached him.
Where?
Yes, I approached him. Where am I? Then he falls 100,000 to give you. And that is business. Milioni 100. Not a human being. Bring him and impeach him again.
There's a question I will reserve. It's in connection to that. I'm going to hold that question for now. I'll ask you towards the end, Mosh. Let's get back. You play so well on the keyboard.
Yeah.
And every time I see you during National Prayer Day, and I feel like there's a young man inside Osoro who, if this politics was not an idea, this young man will have ended up on the pulpit preaching.
That is true. I am, besides now the politics and everything,
yes,
man, I love God. God, and I speak to God like God. God speaks to me too. I speak to him, and God shows me so many things. And like I see, do you know I saw Ruto president?
When was this?
He was Eldoret North MP. I envision, I see things. I don't know whether it's vision, whether it is...
No, it's in the book of Amos, and in the last days, my sons will see visions.
Yes. I usually, even when I'm seated, something can come in my mind, and I don't know, there's a discerning spirit. Something just comes about you, and exactly as it came, it turns out so. If I come to hospital and find and see you, to visit you, maybe you are sick, I swear I will tell you whether you're dying or not. When praying, I'll see you. My friends blame me for that sometimes. You know, last December I visited some friend, some friend's sister in hospital, and she was okay. She was walking. Kaniambia sasa tunapanga kumdischarge. While praying, I saw her dead. So, despite all these political things that we do and everything, we also have a life.
I want to imagine that.
People look at us and think that we are some sort of people, either devils or people who are superhuman, or somehow people who have no other life. And that is why sometimes even walking through supermarket, get people tapping you from the back and say, "Hey, I don't want to shop." You're like, so Do I manufacture things to my stomach? Those kind
You
of
should be
stuff.
having like your own tissue manufacturing company in the house.
Exactly. When you go to church and worshiping and you are deep in spirit, you're knelt down and you're praying and people are like, they are pretending. I mean, they don't know that Christ came for the sinners. If you are a saint, go to heaven. That's where saints are. As long as you live here on earth, you've got to be a sinner, and then you keep on seeking for forgiveness.
Repentance.
Because God knows that we are weak. Sometimes, our souls are willing, but sometimes our bodies become very weak. Even the basic of the basics, there are times we sin without our knowledge. Hey, uko wapi? Ndio nimetoka, and you've not left the house. But because you don't want to disappoint the other party,
the other person,
you've already lied. And it's a lie. That's a lie. And the Bible says lying is also a sin. So we sin somehow, but we have a life as politicians. And mine, as you've said, I love God.
Was it something from the family? Was it?
Yes and no. It is. My parents died when I was very young. So when my parents died, I was 8 years old.
8 years.
Yes. So they instilled, even within that time, they really instilled church in us, like religion in us. Sunday school every Sunday, we go to church, recite poems, those kind of things. When they passed on, that value didn't leave my mind. But even then, life made it possible to love God. Man, life was difficult. You see, life was difficult. Somebody was asking the other day that, I think it's today that I was reading, why are there no crusades in Runda and Karen like there are in Kawangware?
Exactly.
And let me tell you, it is funny. Hey man, life was hard. When life is hard, there are times I used to go to Odeon Cinema, that time when Pius was Pius.
Don't
Pius. In his days. No.
In the prime.
Let me tell you what happens. Kuna kitu inaitwa mafuta.
Yes.
And it's seasonal. And I don't think he'll take offense if I say this. He knows that. Prophets used to come for seasons. People, it is deep. You cannot live on past glory. Even in gospel music, singing, everything, we had Esther Wahomes of this world.
The Kasangas and the Mauras.
All those characters, you'll tell them to do a song here, and there is no spirit that will ever come down. It is not because God doesn't love them. You served purpose at that point.
I like that.
Even leadership, that is what happens. Even us.
A time will come.
Umepakwa mafuta na kuna wakati itakauka. Somebody else apewe. It doesn't mean God doesn't love you. God loves you. But you outlived your usefulness. Man, Moses outlived his usefulness. Akafikisha watoto pale na hakuenda Canaan. It doesn't mean that God amesahau mazuri yote. His purpose was up to that point. So stop blaming people and looking. We should know time and season happens to us all. And at some point, mafuta yako itaisha. So Muiru had his mission of evangelism in his prime in the 90s, early 2000. Wakati tulikuwa nashika radio.
Na TV.
My father was, nyinyi mlikuwa na TV?
Kwa jirani.
My father,
saa 9 on Sundays.
Yes, saa 9 on Sundays. My father was sick. Na nilikuwa nampeleka hapo kila saa ashike radio apone. And let me shock you. Alikuwa napona. At that point, whatever pain, akasema niko sawa. Si uongo. It was his time. Although sometimes some of us, when in the spiritual world, you tend to take that glory, you forget it is godly, or you start mixing with other things, then hiyo grace inatoka. But wengine pia, itaisha tu naturally. Somebody else apewe. And that is why when you see Muiru, Pastor Pius Muiru stand, akizungumza anasema, my son, Pastor Ezekiel, alikuwa kwangu. Grace inaenda ikienda.
There was a handover.
Yes, inaenda ikienda, and that is not bad, and I'm sure he feels proud. So in his prime, Bwana, I used to do hawking in Tao. Lunch hour singemiss. Amy Kosgei was younger and she was there singing praise and worship.
Odeon Cinema.
Bwana singemiss. And at times I could walk natoa sadaka 50 bob. Nilikuwa naishi Gashie, Mkuru kwa Ruben kwanza before niende Gashie. Niko na ka 50 bob nimehustle kuuza gazeti. Napeana sadaka, God and bless. Na kanyaga Kaguu Buda up to Mkuru kwa Ruben.
Sasa umeuza nini? Umehook nini?
Nilikuwa nauza gazeti. Asubuhi nauza gazeti. Masaa fulani mchana nauza njugu, and then naanza kuuza nguo za madem. Okay, hiyo ni graduation. After nimesonga mbele, si before.
So huko then it must have been really bad huko nyuma.
Hey boss. Mimi ni chokora bana. I used to be a street boy. So when you ask me about God, it is personal. Me, I'm a street boy. My life is me, vile unaniona hivi. Me, myself, vile niko hivi nimeketi hivi. If today I get stress or when I'm under pressure, I just lock myself in the car. And I chase my driver and askari and shed a tear or two. But if after I finish, bado na baki nikiscratch ni solve waje hii. Juu hakuna mtu atanisikiza ni nani? You know some of us bwana, si hatujui. God ni kama tu alikuwa tu na plan yake. I think he gives it to strong people. You go through some situations that nobody can believe. So that is why I love God. If there is one value that I have learned over time, especially that I like singing everywhere, is the grace to tithe.
The grace to tithe.
You know, it's a grace.
This generation is fighting the ideology of giving, tithing.
That is why we pray for grace. To tithe. It's a grace. Bro, you earn 10 mics in a business and you're supposed to take 1 million in church. Can you imagine that? You know, it takes grace. Unapeleka mita tu, unapelekea mse mwenye hata ajui umechapa hiyo biashara. Yaani siko unashika. You know, it is grace. I wanted to imagine how much money I make within my manenos. I tithe every cent. It is the way, but you know what the Bible tells us in the book of Malachi 3:10? That the heavens come down, you know, he covers. So God opens the gates for you, that everything yenye umepanda ina flourish. And that is why unapata mtu tu anagrow kama ni kisiasa. You keep fighting him. Awezi. And then the Bible talks about angels covering you. Like you don't know what happens. Like you relax. Yeah, hiyo achana nayo. Tithing and salvation and prayer, trust me, are 3 different things. Tithing is another form of prayer by itself. Ni rent unalipa ya kukukava Buddha. Na uwezi toka kwa hiyo keta.
Hii ndio insurance, hii ndio SHA ya heaven.
Yes, hiyo ni SHA. I tell you, try it vizuri, like faithfully. Ujuangi ati unapoteza to deal. How? Unapoteza aje deal? Kwani God ako? Siendi alituambia, you know, you keep on reminding him that you told us this. You said if I do this, and then you even tell us, try me. So bas, nimekutry. Alafu, hebu niambie God.
I am that I am.
Yes.
Try me.
Try me. So, loving God is very good. Now, serving God is also very important. You serve God through the gift God has given us. He's given us so many gifts. He's given me a gift of playing musical instruments, which I didn't go to school for. Because me, playing keyboard, I had learned through seeing. And then from there, I told somebody, hey, tell me, how do you do this? So nikaland your time F sharp. It is everything. Kila mtu analandingi kwa ushago. F sharp. Ten, 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 ten. You know? Yes, just that. That's over time, you've got to be deliberate. You to Bwiko, anza kujua A, B, C, inafika pole tu unashika. And then unakuwa musical, unasikiza music sana, unakuwa tu musical. That is how I managed to play. So in the National Prayer Breakfast, I am the coordinator of the Kenyan chapter of the National Prayer Breakfast. And I've been in this position for several years since I got to Parliament. We usually have fellowships every Wednesday at 7 to 9, 6:30 roughly to 9. We meet somewhere and pray, worship and pray. So it started when I got to Parliament. They used to meet as members of the fellowship, mostly Protestants, although Catholics also meet. But when they used to meet and just share testimonies. And they used to have those books, hymn books. wazee hapo wanaimba saa mbili.
Praise the Lord.
Yes, praise the Lord. Just that. And then they sit. So when I got to Parliament and I joined the fellowship, I said, this is so boring. We just meet, we talk, we pray, we sing one line. Because it's not entertaining, we go. I donated a piano and a speaker and a mixer. Now, I didn't know it was something very good. So I could set it up at 6:30, start playing myself. And then people complained I'm making a lot of noise.
Who's that one person complaining? One of your colleagues?
It is no more. It is no, the staff, they started complaining, do we allow this music and everything? But we all challenged them. It is 6:30. Are you in the office at 6:30?
You're not in the office at 6:30.
People just love complaining. I don't know why.
Let's be realistic.
Yes. In fact, at the point I'm opening, or we are opening for fellowship, at times I even wait for the sergeant at arms to be there, to come, because he's never there. So, at times we wait for the sergeant at arms to open. Yes. So they started complaining, but eventually they embraced it. After embracing, it attracted more people. Every morning now the hall became small. People started, I started whipping people, hey, fellowship every Wednesday. Fellowship every Wednesday. The whole, out of my donation. But National Prayer Breakfast is a conglomerate of different prayer groups that I encourage you, Dr. Ofweneke, to join. We've got different prayer groups. Muthaiga prayer group that handles the entire area of Muthaiga, Kiambu Road, up to Kiambu.
Okay.
Men meet at Muthaiga Country Club. And I'm talking about men from all over, and even women, but mostly it's men I see, of means. Guys who are not poor, they meet on Wednesdays to pray.
They're not struggling in life.
Yes, but they meet there to pray. Now that answers the question about crusades. Because now we've missed that hype in these sites. Men meet that particular time to pray.
So rich people are actually praying.
Yeah. We have you see, one of the coordinators of the prayer breakfast is the former CEO of Kenya Airways, Kilavuka. He got his CEO job through our prayer group. He is in current prayer group.
How can I join, sir? I just live around here.
Now you need to join them. I'll connect you. You need to join the Muthaiga prayer group. You don't need to be a member of Muthaiga Country Club. You don't need to be a member. I'll have somebody register you. You join that prayer group. So they meet every Wednesday. So Parliament is one prayer group. Now, I want you to understand why it's called National Prayer Breakfast.
Yes.
So that people don't think it's a political thing. It's not out of politics. In Nairobi itself, we've got about 14 prayer groups. Even Umoja has. Now, then we've got men's conclave, where we meet once a year. In all those prayer groups, we converge in one area to pray the entire day. Now, there we pray for the country and honor that is how prayer breakfast is planned.
Does the president go to the one in Karen?
He used to be a member of current prayer group when he was member of parliament. Of course, now out of his schedule, he is now a member of State House prayer group, which fasts every Wednesday. It's a prayer group.
So there's a president who is actually a president who fasts literally.
Yes, President William Ruto fasts. Bwana, wakati we had typical or clear, visible takeover of government under 2024, when everybody imagined this guy, sasa kesha anaenda. Of course, we lost many lives and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, rest in peace. Yeah.
Yes. It was very unfortunate. But if it were not for God, do you know what the Bible tells us in the book of Romans 13:1 onwards? Leadership comes from God.
True.
And he takes it whenever he wants. If he had no God that point, I swear, I met him in State House, my friend, walking from here to here. That day, Gen Z, I think 11 of us fit in one Land Cruiser. From I'm writing a book from basement of
the Parliament building.
Parliament building. And Mark Q, It was an armored car. And then sadly, they had not loaded the AC. So it's armored. Hawezi teremsha vioo na tuko hapo. Boss, a 5-minute drive from Parliament to State House to me looked like or felt like a 3-hour drive. Tulifika gate ya State House hivi. Nikasema situfungue tu mlango, tuende ikiwa wazi, tumefinyana sana. Mi speaker Ishungwa. Is it Kuria Kimani? And then our bodyguards wakakuja.
Bodyguards pia walikuwa nani?
Eh bwana. Kuna mtu anataka kufa? Anataka kufa. Do you want to die?
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the story. So you have to, those prayer groups, they meet, then they come up with a gym for the prayer of the year. So the guest of honor is supposed to be the president of the country.
Okay.
That explains why a parliament, and then because the leadership of the country is parliament and judiciary and everything, judiciary prays. You saw last time with Chief Justice. They also have a prayer group. So they join in and pray. A minister prays, executive, but of course sometimes we leave it to the president only. And parliament now takes charge in managing all the attendees you see there are not people from government. They are from different prayer groups. It is not only, it started in Kenya a long time ago. Properly, I think in 1995, properly. And through our prayer group, we started another one in Tanzania. We helped Tanzania start their prayer breakfast. We helped Rwanda start their prayer breakfast. Uganda was slightly ahead of us. But it's something that we copied from US, which is at 75th prayer breakfast. That is done every year. And yours truly is the one who represents Kenya every prayer breakfast of the US. Including the one, it happens in February. I've already received my invitation.
Oh.
Yes.
You don't need somebody to carry your Bible?
And not even that, I even choose again a few people to take me for prayer breakfast. So that
I just need to renew my visa.
Yes.
In
fact, with the invitation, you get your visa. If I share your email.
My team, and of course, Ruben, my team, of course, will align on that. Praise the Lord.
And then we go there. I've gone to I think I represent Kenya in almost all the prayer breakfasts in the world.
I have been your friend for a while, and I don't think I really got this depth, relationship, and love and reverence for God as much as I'm doing. And of course, I think your life story is what really is the result, of course, of your love for God. But as we're speaking about God, it's taking me back, and you're saying that literally where uko solo. And I'm asking myself, wakati Buddha na mother waliishia, there were no brothers, no sisters.
Bro, sisi tumezaliwa A, B, C, D. We are age mates. Like, my mother must have been very good in family planning. You get it? She used to get pregnant every year to prevent another pregnancy from coming.
Wait. Wait, come on, please, mom, rest in peace wherever you are, but though, that's a new one.
Like, every year she's pregnant to protect maybe another pregnancy. Because now, we are 6. Because now, how do you say that?
But you're 6.
But you're like, age mates. So the gap from the oldest to the youngest, the total gap is 7 years. So, those are age mates. Those are
literally,
people
yes.
Exactly. Now,
what order in the family are you?
Myself and I am a 4th born.
You're the 4th born.
And do you know, I took my elder sister, my immediate follower, to school in high school. Nikiwa natoshana hivi. Because when the parents die, everybody went. My sister left school at Form 2. Those kind of things. But I've tried, and there is always a soul. Every family has got a Paul. I don't know whether you're a Paul to your family.
By the grace of God, if I study my life clearly, I believe I'm the Paul in my family.
Yes, every family has a Paul. that will grow the family, because I have literally employed every of my siblings.
From juu na huko mwisho.
Hakuna mwenye hana kazi. Hakuna. And some of them, I took them to school, even those who are older than me. Paid their degrees, for their degrees and everything. So I was this child who was just as I am, who speaks straight. When my parents died, I was chased by all relatives. That's how I ended up in the streets. I could live with you for 1 month or 2 months or 3 months. And then wengine walinichukia because I used to eat. They used to accuse me of eating too much. I don't know whether I used to. Others, I would go to school with their kids and I top in class and they feel jealous or something and they develop something. Others would plan. My father never had anything. He was a high school teacher. He only had a small land somewhere, and I lived with one of the uncles who was planning on how to sell it, and I could overhear that, and they chased me. Others would beat me for nothing. One beat me until akanikata hii kidole, as you can see. Cameraman, unajua mimi pia ni disability. Nafaa kuchukua kadi. Lakini kidole.
Wewe na Sankok.
Yes, tuko almost same WhatsApp group. Ni vile yeye ni mguu, but sometimes this kidole to date is very painful. So hii ikakatika na hii. I have lived life. So as we were growing, I never had a very good life. I had to maneuver everything. I've taken myself through school. I've taken myself. You know, there is no single human being who will come here and say, "Hey, wewe, nilikulipia hapa. Wewe." Bro, I have, except of course the one who rescued me when I was doing welding in Kisii. I had given up as when I was informed to. Mr. Moenga Unchweri came to fix his car, to have his car fixed. Of course, I was a welder. And then he looked at me, and for some reason I resemble my mother, my late mother. And they used to know her. I was like, "Hey, wewe si mtoto wa Sara?" I said, "Yes." "Na unafanya nini hapa?" He started beating me. "Why are you not in school? He used to be a principal." The more I explained, the more he's beating me. You know, that time children were community kids.
Yes.
It's not like now you cannot.
Now they have rights.
Now they have rights. So eventually, when he cooled it down, I explained, you know, those people you are mentioning passed long time ago. He didn't know. You know, there are no phones. Hey! It really hit him. Then he decided to take me to one of his schools, and that is how he really helped me. But point is, man, people come from far. Sisi tumetoka tu mbali. My story is just a bad one. And the other day we were doing some launch of some houses somewhere where I was a guest, and there's some raffle tickets that were moving around so that one can win something. So I didn't. People seated next to me were winning. You know, you win a microwave. You know, it's just a game. A guy asked me, "Why are you not winning and you've got so many of them?" I said, "Me, I do not know something called luck in my life. I know something called hard work. God creates us differently. He's placed me in position of hard work. Bro, I do not know anything easy. Everything about me is hustle.
There's been a prize.
There's a prize and I fight. I go through a lot to get to what I want. There is not a single thing. 2017, when I was running for Member of Parliament, I tried ODM. Baba told me I'm young. I went to Jubilee. Matiang'i had his brother running from the same constituency. I found myself without a ticket, and I got some little known Kenya National Congress in the streets, and I picked it. And even when I picked it, somebody else came, wanted nomination. I again had to fight for that, and that person was appearing like he could be the one. He had run actually 2 or 3 times, so they said, "This is the guy we can give." Then eventually we went for nomination, and I won Kenya National Congress, and I became Member of Parliament. Look at this other one. We are here. I am in Tangatanga, the last one. Matiang'i comes from my area originally. He's supporting Baba. That time it used to be called hii kitu inaitwa ilikuwa ya juzi, unajua yetu ilikuwa Kenya kwa Azimio. So Azimio. Now I am not pro-government. Bwana, for the record, I was arrested 14 times under Fred Matiang'i.
14 times?
Yes. Over nothing.
By Matiang'i?
By Matiang'i. Matiang'i arrested me 14 times.
What level of hate? You know, one is allowed. It can be a miscommunication.
No.
Is it personal?
Why I find my life easy and I don't take offense on so many things, and I don't even like speaking about it because some people think it's cloud chasing and everything, is because I think some of us are meant to go through such. You know, the more Raila talked about his arrest, some people were bashing him, wewe ulikuwa stubborn, but some of us understood. Sisi sasa wenye tumepitia the same persecution by government. You know, when I hear people talk about persecution in Ruto government, naangalia na do you really know the regime under Uhuru? You know, the other day you saw Senator Medho telling the president, tunakuheshimu lakini hatukuogopi. His freedom, if it were under Uhuru, was to be guaranteed at that stage, but not beyond there.
Not beyond the breakaway of the crowd.
Lakini Ruto that day, ameambiwa hivyo, and I was flying with him. Tuliingia na yeye kwa ndege. I asked him, boss, umeacha huyu kijana? Akasema, it's a young man. Chana it's growing. I was looking at him and I'm like, really? You don't take offense? No, he's a young man. Let him just, okay, what wrong did he say? Kuniogopa? Do I want him to fear me? No. I don't. I looked at him and the wisdom. Over time, I've really learned a lot from him. So, Matiang'i used to arrest me over nothing. Au umeandika Facebook post kitu fulani, polisi. Natolewa Kisii, nawekwa Subaru, Nairobi, cell. Natolewa nini, napelekwa. Alafu, you know, Azimio that time had got very good bloggers. Wanaandika, yes. Walikuwa wanaandika wanasema Osoro amepatikana na bibi wenyewe, wacha kuwekelea maneno ya siasa, ndio maana umeshikwa. How do you defend yourself? You're a young man. There's a possibility as a young man you can be found with somebody's wife. So
young, powerful with money.
Yes. Walipatikana na pesa fake. Sijui nini. I got arrested several times.
The social story was by when he sharp boy is by
huyu sharp boy sasa ameosha do mahali, which is a lie. And you know, it is something that you can't defend yourself. How do you defend yourself? Where do you go? And you know, man, and unareleasiwa the following day.
No,
exactly. No
charges, no nothing.
No, me. There is only one time I was taken to court. They arrested me and took me to court when there was a by-election in Kisii, and chaos erupted, which is normal like Olkalau. And it was far away from my constituency, 30 kilometers. So a vehicle got an accident while running away from the chaos. Then they said Osoro ndiye alikuwa na wanafukuza huyu mtu na bunduki. So they arrested me. I took plea. In fact, at some point I missed court, and because I had traveled out of the country, when I came back, there was already a warrant of arrest. So I was arrested at the airport to explain where I was, why I missed court. You know, sometimes I look at Matiang'i talking about we can't be intimidated. You what? Look at him and say, man, let me just forgive you. You're not who people think you are.
Do you have his number? Do you have his phone number? Do you guys...
We talk. The last time we talked was on phone we talked last year when my son was sick in October. He showed a lot of empathy. He called me and wished me well. Somebody told him, sorry, he's under a lot of stress. And he called me. That's true. In fact, he didn't call me. He used Kibagendi's number to talk to me.
Would you have picked up if he called you the number?
Yeah. What's wrong? Politics is not what people think.
It's not that serious.
Yeah, no. I'll talk to him, I'll listen to him, I'll even have coffee with him. It is not as that serious. No, I can meet him and we sit down. Even if he persecuted me, that is life. Alikuwa persecuted nani kama si mimi. That is how life is.
That's how the script was.
Yeah. The script was created, that was formed that, Osoro umia, kesho upate kitu. The other time we talked to Wainonyonka's mother funeral.
Yes. And
he held my hand. We were walking outside and he was telling me, hey, how are you doing? We need to meet over time, this. And I got to a point of telling me, you stick where you are. work hard. In future, we don't know what will happen with both of us. I told him, I'll not advise you to stick where you are. You need to join us because I don't see you going anywhere. And I'll repeat here on this show, people lied to Matiang'i. Mbona saa mlimdanganya? You know, hii Gen Z mmedanganya watu wengi sana. Mukadanganya Murara Kebaso.
Sisi millennials. But Murara Kebaso, I thought he's on the right path.
Oh, Gen Zs are the people who've lied to so many people. Now look what you've done to the old man Maraga. From a respected CJ sitting on the bench, now he's sitting on Langata Road protesting over things he doesn't even know. Because you lied to him that he could be president. Struggling there and, taking tear gas. Gen Zs lied to, even us millennials, we lied to Nani. To Peter Kenneth in 2013.
And that one I know. I was among that.
But we also lied to Eugene. I lied to you. You've seen a video circulating of me with Eugene in 2010. Yes. We have lied to so many people. And this euphoria thing.
God forgive us. Finally, millennials, we were saying, finally we'll have the most handsome president. Peter Kenneth.
I have also foreseen another situation where you've lied to my brother. You've lied to my brother Fred. Now you've lied to my brother Sifuna.
Sifuna really lied. Looks like a very realistic.
It was realistic in Matiang'i last year, at the same time. When you get to a point where you are fundraising for a campaign in the name of I'm fundraising to raise this money so that I can put a podium. Let me tell you, Dr. Ofweneke.
Yes, sir.
Presidency is a journey. I'm not dismissing that Sifuna wouldn't be president.
I think he will make an amazing, brilliant president.
I don't know what you call brilliant. There is a difference between eloquence and brilliance. You know, eloquence is in expression. You see the way Nani is very eloquent, Orengo.
Yes.
Try and interview any person who comes from Siaya and ask them what Orengo has ever done in Siaya. You know, these very extremely eloquent guys who speak big English
the
and
walking
everything.
Constitution.
And people who don't see any positive thing on others, I always refer them to read the book by Thomas Erickson, Surrounded by Idiots. It's a very good book. Or The Psychology of Stupidity.
My daughter has read the book before me, so I need to go and read it.
Please, you need to. I've read it more than 5 times. You know, it's a culture that I always encourage people to do. Reading, always read. To become president, it is beyond what you see. I have sat with Jeremiah Kioni before. Jeremiah Kioni once told me that he had foreseen himself as deputy president in 2012. When he was running as running mate for
Musalia
Mudavadi. He said the euphoria that time about Musalia. You know, nobody had foreseen Uhuru Kenyatta
and
Ruto. Nobody. The possible candidate was Musalia, and the guy was fattened, you know, made believe that, you know, you'll be president and such kind of things. I agree, as it is right now, there is a huge support that has been displayed towards Edwin Sifuna.
Yes.
But bado.
Is the government scared?
No. Nah.
Oh, come on.
That is the least of all.
Being realistic of it, the wave is huge.
I am in government. You should be asking me. There's nothing called wave in politics. Not just, wave serves purpose. Structures serve reality. Sifuna has a potential of becoming president, but not in 2027. With the pace he's going, you know, for you to be president, you have to be an underdog at some point. It's like panel beating. Don't allow yourself to be people to bloat your ego. You'll never. Those are the guys who will pull you down fast. Bloating your ego. Where ndio kusema? Every president that has been in this country was once an underdog. A complete underdog. Or a stooge or something. You know, for you to be a master, you've got to be a servant.
For you to be a master, you gotta be a servant.
Exactly. Look at Jomo Kenyatta. That guy was, at some point, he behaved as an underdog, although he's considered him a conman of kitu ya independence. But he acted underdog, and then he rose. When we read the books, to the white men. Moi, from the stories we read, hata Kofi alipigwa.
Played a fool.
Played a fool. Complete fool.
Totally.
And rose. Understand?
Yeah.
Kibaki served under Moi at some point, got fired at some point. You know those stories.
Yeah, the roadside fire.
In fact, they used to call him in Kikuyu General Keguoya. Like, mtu muoga huyu hawezi saidia. At some point, they even said presidency cannot go beyond River Chania.
Yes, I remember that conversation.
Because they considered him an underdog, a small thing. And he acted so. He could not allow himself to be blotted. Uhuru Kenyatta, from running as an opposition leader, decided to join the government of Kibaki and play under somebody, quietly learning government. No person arises to the presidency of this country without learning to run government.
But the argument would be he was an underdog under Baba.
No, he's never. He's always been blotted. You've been an... Okay, let me come first to William Ruto. William Ruto serves under Uhuru Kenyatta. The guy is panel beaten by Uhuru. He's out of office and he's in office. For the 5 years of his last term as deputy president, the guy was not DP.
Deputy president with no portfolio.
With no portfolio. And he's still Niko Sawa. Now, for you to run government, you must learn government.
For you to run government, you must
learn government.
Okay.
All these who've been presidents have served somehow, somewhere in government. Sifuna has been on opposition politics miaka yake yote. Now, when you're in opposition politics, it's very sweet. It is very sweet. It's like a civil rights activist. People will always be there, clapping for you forever. You'll attract, because government is considered an enemy everywhere. It is government that runs structures, the government that collects taxes. Activists don't rise to anything. People who eat eventually have not been activists. Dedan Kimathi was an activist. He died poor with his family. Jomo joined the white man.
He became the president.
Yes. Sifuna has now a euphoria of some young men, women and everything, and now we are moving tribal. Lawyers have started feeling, this guy can rise to something. But they'll be the first people to hit him. Because man, running even a political movement is not easy. Bwana fitina ziko hapa mingi, huyu amekosana na huyu it needs a bit of some experience. Sasa when you join government, you understand a bit of government. Stop telling people lies that, us mukinichagua nitatoa hii sha mtakuwa nayo. How then will you run government? Government is run through taxes.
It is the only way government survives.
That is the only way. So, Sifuna is okay right now, but I'll advise him also that, you're also moving around with peers who are also ambitious. They're the people to pull you down. Sifuna is where Orengo was when Jaramogi died. When Jaramogi died, Orengo was Orengo, bwana. Orengo was Orengo, and even undermined Raila. Everybody, huyu Orengo anaweza kuwa rais, until he died in 1997. Ask him how many votes he got.
That was under NDP, or was it under...
He had some party, I don't know which one. I've forgotten. But Orengo was Orengo. When Jaramogi died, he posed himself as... he's now taking over from the Jaramogi's legacy. But look, Sifuna, you are here. You're surrounding yourself with Babu, who is also ambitious. You're surrounding yourself with all these young people. What are you going to give them? Number two, Sifuna himself does not even know whether he wants to run for president. It's a set of preparedness. William Ruto came to my constituency in one of the schools. in 2001 called Nduru Boys. The other day I went to sign a book and they showed me his signature when I was a member of parliament. I went to Taita somewhere and I found a person say, "Huyu William alikuja hapa kitambo akiwa mbunge." Bro, you grow. And it doesn't start from rallies. It starts from proper boardroom. Proper boardroom. Yeah?
Systems and structures.
Yes, it starts from proper boardroom. Where you go to structures, you create a party, you grow gradually, unatengeneza pia pesa zako, mtegemea cha nduguye, ufa maskini. Hii vitu ya kuchangiwa ati ndio niende rally, nichangue tena ndio niende rally. Au wanasiasa kuna wakati nafika, my friend, they ask you, sasa atuende pamoja, mimi naenda Kakamega, wewe uende Coast na wewe uende area fulani. Pesa iko wapi? What do you have on the table? Politics is an investment of money and time.
Money and time.
Sasa hiyo si una akona potential. Aya, alafu number 2, usianze hapa juu. Watakurudisha chini. So many people will want you down, including the ones you work with. Wivu.
Because I can imagine how many in the Linda Mwananchi stroke the United Opposition. I mean, how many presidential aspirants are there? Martha is there with the Liberation Party. Matiang'i is there with Jubilee. Rigiji, by the grace of God, he's really having hopes above hopes that the court will probably allow him to go under DCP.
Rigiji will be on the ballot. Tuko kwa hii podcast leo. Andika chini. Rigiji will be a presidential candidate. I give you another shocker. Ndindi Nyoro will be a presidential candidate. You still want more?
I'm listening. Geoffrey Rigathi Gachagua
will be a presidential candidate in 2027. Write down. Now, Sifuna will not be a presidential candidate in 2027. He'll retreat back to Nairobi to run for Senate in preparation for 2032. If he dares run for president, politics as Sifuna, if he dares, and there are people who are hell-bent to push him in that route, he'll lose. And it's mostly from Western Kenya who are pushing him that way. And because at that point he'll not have a platform. You know, Kenya is winner take it all.
Yes.
You're not a member of parliament, you're nothing. You guys will not be inviting him for media interviews. He'll be out there, he'll be Eugene. That's what people told Eugene in 20. You remember Eugene akifanya mkutano akionyesha vile yeye atakuwa mkali sana. Eugene akakuwa first time MP. He tried to run for president. He ended up being Minister for Defense 2 years post Uhuru's election. And then he's now zunguka here running a kiosk party. It's almost like a curse of Western politicians, where you get excited. You remember Ababu Namwamba when he left SG
for ODM,
and he's excited. Himself. People will bloat your ego. Kenyans have a way of getting excited with the new entrants. When they sit down to discuss realities and now, even as we sit here, besides saying, walisema hatutafika hapa Kisumu. Hapa ni wapi? Wanatu wanasema Kisumu. Mimi ni nani? Sifuna. So besides that, what message do you go home with and tell your grandmother Sifuna came here?
Mimi ni Sifuna.
So you know, at the end of the day, reality, and I want to tell you, look at the queue of Olkalau. Look at the age group of people that voted, that were on the queue that early morning. Very mature people. Most of these young people hardly vote. And if they do, they vote out of this at that time. Western people pushing Sifuna to run, because right now it's a Western affair.
Yes, and I'll speak as one of them. I was not of the idea in the beginning, but I'm slowly getting involved into it.
They want to have him run. You know, at the end of the day, the senior politicians will not let him be. Kalonzo will not drop for Sifuna.
Definitely not this time. He's been waiting for this time.
Matiang'i won't. I mean, this a young man, according to them and everything. He's inexperienced. He's just a one-term senator. Those kind of things. in fact, even systems. You've had Kalonzo tell you there is state and there is deep state. Even systems that control resources. Let me tell you about presidency. Presidency, it's about control of resources. Those who control resources, those who run the resources of this country, want those who have something to lose to run the country. Yes. Those who have proper resources in this country would be comfortable with their fellow halves. Unfortunately, they pull the strings. The day they'll close down your adverts on TV, on everything, you'll realize you are nobody. You must demonstrate being a half, or at least an illustration that you can have.
If you are not,
tafuta do. Si umaarufu. Watakupea do upige gava, and that is where they place you.
Ini mawe yetu.
Yes. So they'll be like, ametukosea, shika. Enda mumulime Kakamega. Ametukosea, shika. Lakini where it takes that women do not control, bwana, they'll be scared. Utawanyanganya. So Sifuna atafute do, na si ya kuchanga ya 10 bob. Na hiyo ikikuja yenye anachanga ya 10 bob ya 20 bob, good. Bro, jenga gorofa, zikiingia kama enough, nunua resources ukue nazo, utoke kama pesa zako 2032. Kama do zako, heshima itapanda. Hii ingine tutaanza kukutusi very soon. Hata uwezi nunua suti mpya. Hii ni pesa yetu. Ukisleki kidogo, hii ni pesa. Sasa look at Morara Kebaso walking around in suits. Na gari ya sound yenye alibaiwa na watu.
But he's a young man trying to build a political career.
No, but look at the formation he came up with. We do. Okay, if you see him tomorrow as presidential candidate, although Kenyans forget very fast, but if you were to appear tomorrow next week, would you still trust him? Hii kitu ya kukuja kubeg raia tupatie do ndio tuende rally, wachana nayo bana. Hizo vitu haziwork. Baba never did that all through in his political career. This is Africa. People will misuse you.
So that time Baba walikuwa na Kalonzo, walikuwa na nini? Na paybill. Even Kalonzo walikuwa hapo nyuma.
Ya ile ilikuwa paybill ya teachers. Ile ilikuwa paybill ya teachers. Lakini tena kama ni hii paybill ya kuchanga whatever, at least you would trust them a little bit. I mean, Baba has been in the trenches for long. I mean, he's not a guy you would say he didn't have his money or anything.
Mzee was well.
You know, much as people lie all over that Uhuru helped Baba, Uhuru did not help Baba a single cent.
Baba had his own.
Bwana, Uhuru is stingy, and that is why Matiang'i aacha kutegemea Uhuru. Uhuru anakupea 200,000 na anakupea 20 million. Bro, when you are extremely wealthy, you don't even want to use your money because you fear wale wakufikie. It's a very that's unaonanga matajiri wengi wanaishingi vibaya kuliko wewe. Kuna do mob, lakini utaki kuishi fiti because your fear is the fear of losing money. So 2027 August 10th, please just prepare for William Ruto comeback. Don't waste time. Easy wasting of time. We are back to 1992 where people imagined huyu mtu amechukiwa. You know, those are called
40+1.
Those are called imaginations. Reality ki strike candidate opposition ni huyu. Kale katakasirika, aka kakasirike na aka kakasirike. Kila mtu aende kivyake. And sometimes kukasirika kwao is sponsored by the state. You know, there are so many ways of killing a rat. Yeah.
Mheshimiwa, as you finish, I've had the privilege, of course, of having access to you and even your family and everything. You have been very keen. You're one of the very few legislators and members of parliament who are very keen, of course, on protecting your family away from social media bars and everything. And I can speak as a witness. You have a very stable marriage back at home. First of all, how many years in marriage?
17 years in marriage.
17 years in marriage.
Yes, yes.
This is 2010, 2011.
I got married in 2009.
2009.
Yes. Yeah.
Did you feel, because you've married from the mountain?
Yes.
Was there any backlash back from Ewusi?
The good thing with me is that it is just me. You know, I got a girl and placed her in the house. So that time people had written me off. No uncle, no what. So they had written me off. And but we've lived very well. I have 5 kids from my marriage. 4 boys and 1 girl.
All right.
But I also have 2 kids somewhere. You know, men fear some of those stories. So I have 7 kids.
And Mama knows.
Yeah, she does. So I have 6 kids. I mean, 6 boys, 1 girl. Man, I'm too strong. And my boys are doing well. And my girl, my daughter. And one thing is that protect your family from your public life.
Protect your family from public life.
Yes. Mimi, bibi yangu hata akiwa hapa nje hakuna mtu anajua. She is not on social media. She is not on those things, and she doesn't like political appearances. In fact, during the Gen Z, she was in class, one of the classes in the university, and the lecturer was talking about me, and she's seated there and I smile. Yeah, there's an MP from Kisii, and I check it. Yeah. So it's important to protect your family, guard your family at all costs, avoid the world. You know, the institution of marriage is the devil enjoys attacking it. It's the easiest to the same franchise. The easiest. Just bring a scandal and say tulimuona akiwa siata mall na mtu fulani.
And that's it.
And that is it. And then I always talk to my wife over things. When I get an opportunity with my official visit, I'll travel with her. I'm going to the US, I'm traveling with her. She'll enjoy.
What is that one tradition you've kept strong?
Tradition
that has kept you, this one, you know, this is 1 or 2 elements that have kept us for 17 years.
Sleeping at home.
You don't sleep out.
If there is no compelling reason, even if I had a rally in Eldoret, and there's a flight, why should I eat chakula ya hoteli na naweza kuja home? Man, do you know the joy of sleeping in your bed and waking up in the morning at whatever time? Number 2, another tradition that I've kept beyond 10 p.m. Hey man, sitakangi nikuwe nje. At 10 p.m. I'm just outside. See ati ni World Cup na watch.
This is impressive.
Like I am. Do you know beyond 8 I feel so bad being outside? I want to see my boys do assignments. Like I want to see kids there. I want to. And then nimefuga tupiko kapo, nataka nione zikitembea siku hizi. You know, I want to see, napenda ka garden kangu. Mmemwaga maji, you know, it is a tradition that I've really kept dear to my life, that I don't sleep outside, and there is no reason. Ati tuko mahali nje, my boys mmeniambia tulale tu hapa, utaambia mama. Mimi.
Haiwezi.
Bwana. If it's within Nairobi, I will. And you know, ikifikanga 9, nikiona nimefika 10, nam text. Another tradition is that I don't eat outside. Chakula ya mama ni tamu. Like unaiona tu ndio hii imekuja.
Mtu wangu unanijenga, napenda vile unaongea manzi.
Chakula ya mama ni tamu. Inakuja tu hivi, you eat breakfast vizuri. You know, I miss home. When I travel, I just have to come home and eat. Chakula ya mama ni tamu. Some friends take me, kuja tukutane 7 p.m. Tunakutana. Na mbona ukuli? Naambia hapana, naenda kukula home. Ishapikwa. So
that is... What news ushana?
Yeah, of course. Marriage happened that way, but we have... my kids will tell you, they don't know whether I get annoyed with my wife, with their mother. Hata nikiona mistake, I'll wait bedroom time. I have never shouted at my wife, never beaten her, never ever. Yet I'm very rough outside there. But she's also learned to lower down her voice. Whenever there's something, we'll go to the bed, I'd say this and this and this. It is normal for marriages watu kukosana. But talk about it and finish. Wacha kuingoja the following day. You see adui, hauna maisha ingine. Alafu hii life tunaishi ni short bwana.
Malize hii kitu hapo.
Another 20, wewe unajua another 20, 30 years na si mbali, si ndio tutakuwa kinoburu. So hii maneno yako
akilida.
Yes. Sisi na si mbali. So uko na stress miaka kidogo. Me, I don't shout at my wife at all. I've never beaten her. And then another tradition is church. Let's drive to church, bwana. Kaa tu uone watoto wameenda Sunday school na wewe unasikiza neno. You know, and then go home. So it's something I miss whenever I go to my political functions. And then guarding my family. Ati nimepiga picha, nimepost, nimewawekea hata status. Ati uone my sons.
God loves my family in Jesus' name.
Kuna mbona uone watu wangu.
I'm proud of his graduation.
Kuna mbona uone watu wangu. And let me tell you, successful politicians, even in leaders, you've got to see their family wakati washafika side ya juu.
Uko juu kabisa.
I'll give you examples. First, who was Moi's wife?
Well, we only know of Lena, which is...
Yes, but huko unaona kina Gideon Moi wako hapo all over that, although there are no phones then, but weka you aside. Look at now Kibaki. Look at the embarrassment Lucy alikuwa analeta hapo. Because of exposing a lot of your families hapo, unaweka tu hapo. Look at such. Nakuja kusema, talk, or forever remain silent. Liko hapo. I come to Uhuru. We only got to know about Margaret when Uhuru became president.
True.
Come to Ruto. We only got to know about Rachel after he became deputy president. Akikuwa interviewed na Churchill, hiyo preparation.
Actually, yes.
Exactly. But these other politicians, unashinda ukitembea na bibi yako mnashikashika mikono na
Michelle and Obama.
Na
Michelle and Obama.
It doesn't work in Africa. Na kushona vitenge. We are Africans. Tunashona vitenge tufanane na bibi kwa nini?
Nilikataa mweshi. Nilikataa.
Tunashona vitenge tufanane. Tunafanana kwa nini? Kwa nini umenikalia?
Hapo ndio shida ya vitenge na kangani kama shati ya Charina kangani kama ilikuwa ni remainder ya material ya. Inakanga. I can't justify it was the other way around.
Yes.
Vitenge nao nilikataa pia mimi.
Hata vitu zingine za public kufanya sijui mimi siwezi.
Wewe si wa PDA.
Ati kwa siasa. Ati niko hapa, let my wife come here and say hi to you. Kwa nini? Hawasalimie kwa nini? Why?
Si hata campaign
home.
Ana distribute lesson nini hapa vikundi za mama.
Afanye nini? What is our role there?
He's a family man.
Peleka hizo vitu bwana kwa wazungu. Mimi even during the elections, my wife comes I think the last 3 days. Why? Kuniprepare tu hapo, ndiye akae hapo, vote na prepare chakula. Kidogo juu hiyo time inakuwa, or the last 1 week inakuwa intense. Ndiye akuje hapo asaidie. Na hakuna watoto hapo. Watoto wanakuwa nini? But the only thing I've done with my boys, mahali na jenga 2-3 na wapeleka wanaangalia vile mjengo inajengwa.
Yes, it's important.
But pia mama yao, why would she be knowing, oh, I'm building here, I'm buying this property? Why? Buy and then give her the document. Give her the document. Why are we discussing? Which meeting are we holding? I'm the head. You know, you've got to be... Me, I'm an alpha male. We are control freaks, kidogo.
Yeah.
I'll go look for. Nitakuletea. Don't... do you know if I ever sat with my wife nikimwambia naenda kukampeni angekataa? Juu siku mbili nilijaribu kukaa na yeye kuenda ground. Akaona natoka na kamita. Alafu tukirudi na kopa mafuta. Naambia petrol attendant kesho nikiamkia banki nitakuwekea. Akaanza kuniambia, must you do this thing? You know,
yeah, it makes sense. Hii pesa tununue shamba.
Yes.
Tununue shamba.
Exactly.
I thought it was a toxic. There are decisions I make within the company here. And baadaye inakujangi inajulikana baadaye najua ndafuriwa. But
usijali kufuriwa bro. Make decisions as a man. God has given us that grace. Women support my vision. Ya wao ni shingo, mimi ni kichwa. You need to have a man that you look up to. He can consult you mahali atakwama, lakini kama ame make decision this direction, ni hivyo. You've been to my place.
Yes sir.
You know my wife, you know my kids,
family and everything.
You know vile wote wanakuanga. Unaona hata function nafanya hapo home. Tunakula nyama hapo, watu wanakuja hapo, nafanya kapati hapo, watu wanasherehekea hapo. The other day you came with your wife. Watu wakasherehekea hapo mpaka 3 AM. Why would I go and announce my family and my kids niende nichukue hoteli hapa Glee. Niko hapo rooftop kila mtu anasema family things. Kwenda kabisa. Wakienda holiday kila mtu yake, tufika huko and the world is bad. Wivu iko hapa nje ni mbaya. Wivu. Bwana nikaa God akituumba ile kitu ya kwanza aliwekea binadamu ni wivu. Bwana, people don't want people to succeed. And do you know the guys who look at you driving a car and they think They are walking because you are driving. Yani
hata hii podcast yenyewe inasumbua watu mweshi. Hii
maze umeenda kwa shop, umetafuta do, umenunua hii kiti peke yako. Umenunua kiti na hujakataza mashop ziko, spaces ziko. Lakini kuna msee anasikia vibaya mtu squeeze anajifanya. You know I hear such stories, unajua Osoro ako na kiburi anajifanya. Bro, kununua gari mpya si kiburi, nimejituma bana. Wewe pia kuwa na yako basi. And so me, I protect my family. It is the dearest thing that I protect.
This was such a beautiful, enlightening conversation.
Paka ile siku nitakuwa rais, ndio mtawaona. Because you know, me my vision is not being governor. You become a governor, you lose national value.
So being a governor, you've ruled out. That one is not you. It's not in your political plan.
Have you seen the way Natembea struggles to become a national leader?
Anaingia kichwa ina kitu idango.
Anatoka kidogo anakumbuka nurses wa county wana strike. Anarudi. Mpaka Sifuna amekuja kutokea, anapia national because amekuwa national platform as a senator. Sasa Natembea ndio anasema we are going to endorse Sifuna. Although yao wengi ni uongo ya kwamba aanguke 2027. Yeye arudi ugavana 2032 atakuwa amejipanga. Hivi tu watu wajipange, wajichunge. Unamalizwa mapema juu ya speed na wanakupuliza prosper alafu wanakumaliza mapema juu ya speed. Mambo ni pole pole. So governor, look at Arati. Arati was a big name when he was Arati was a big name when he was in Nairobi as MP.
Yeah.
Siku hizi anatusiwa even with small boys everywhere in Kisii because akimake a decision lazima itaonekana mbaya kwa hawa. Look at Sakaja. You know, governor position is like a career killer. Sakaja and Mutula Kilonzo used to appear in JKL. Watu wanaona huyu si akue rais, huyu akue deputy. Sasa sasa hii nikikuuliza kama Sakaja unataka akue rais utaanza kucheka. Utaanza kusema Nairobi imeharibika. Nikikuuliza Mutula Kilonzo aona vile amekuwa villager. Why it not force rais kupea Joho position ya minister after governor 2 terms at a young age? Anaenda wapi? It was done. Bro, mimi wacha niende term nyingine ya MP. Alafu 2032 hii uwanja itakuwa level playground. Sisi wote. Wacha hii story mnaongea hapa. Ruto amalize. Aende na akina Mudavadi, aende na akina Weta, aende na akina Rigiji, hiyo age group yao wanasema tulikuwa university pamoja, you are ahead of me. Sasa hata sisi wacha tuanze kusemea.
Group yetu ya Sonu
ya then. Ipote. Hiyo sijui nini, second liberation. Boss, second yenu iende second. 2032 ni level playground. Mimi niko hapo. Age group yetu Sifuna wako hapo. Kama atasikia vile tumemwambia. Otherwise wanataka kumkata 2027 akijikaza. Hiyo group naona babu anajikaza kwa governor.
Well and fine.
Namtakia mema sana. Lakini dream ya presidency inahitaji ukae hapo national.
Tulia.
Unahitaji tu inakae hapo national because the truth is akisukuma sana atatoa Sakaja. Lakini ukishaingia governor, dream killer. Career killer. Unakuwa nini? So tutakuwa hapo na hao akina hiyo group yetu akina Ndindi now, they will all be there. You know, this character akina Medho. Sasa saa hii wacha tusaidiane. Wewe kama unataka kusaidia watu ya opposition waenda wakiendanga wasaidie. Sisi tu wenye tunasaidia Ruto arudi ndio 2032 tujipange. Na ndio nakwambia hakuna mtu kwa hiyo group anataka kuwa rais ya opposition. Who would want to be a president and your opposition leader is Ruto? Alafu wewe ni president unaitwa Sifuna na una anything umechanga hapa. Na opposition leader yako ni Ruto. Si utakuwa impeached the next 3 months. Unajua tuwachange kucheza na presidency. You have no money, you have nothing, you have no control, you have no system. Ujai learn hata kulearn government, kurun government. So nobody. If you ask Rigiji ataran to bargain with Ruto na wabunge wake. Hakuna mtu anataka kutoa Ruto. Ati Ruto akuko opposition leader.
Yeah.
Sasa Matiang'i anataka kuwa rais hata wabunge wa Kisii wakimpea wote 13 juu ni Kisii tu ana campaign. So wewe uko president na uko na wabunge 13 na Ruto ndio opposition leader.
Forget it.
Na wabunge ni 349. Si utakuwa impeach the that day. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, my goodness, such an incisive interview that you've had of the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, Honorable Silvanus Osoro is telling you, you better get ready. 2032 is a level playing ground. And you've collected your lessons from politics to governance, to system, to political strategy and placement. And of course, one thing that I've taken out as well is how to limit and gauge your dreams. Make your dreams as realistic as possible. For me, that is the lesson of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, live on Lessons at 30. What an amazing guest lecture on the show today. This is going to be a big one. It's going to be a blood one. Let's wait and see. 2027, 10th August, we are back on the ballot box as a country. The question is it going to be proven right? Is it going to be proven wrong? And you're going to be knowing that by the end, at least by 8:01, as he said, by 8:01, you already know what is going to go down. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Subscribe and share. And I'm telling you, I don't just invite people who I meet on the road. If you see me inviting somebody on the show, there must be something that you can pick from them. So either you like or you don't like Silvanus Osoro. But trust me, if you're realistic enough, there's something that you've picked. It is only the wise ones that were meant for this episode. See you in the next one, and God bless you.